Okay, now, so Melissa, thank you so much for making your way from Canada to India. Namaste from India, and we are so thankful to you for your presence. So may I request you to say something about yourself?
Good morning, India. It's my pleasure to join you here in Canada. It's 6 a.m. So all of my students are sleeping still. My own two children are still sleeping. So that's why I'm messaging you here from my home. You can see that we have our Christmas tree up. We're getting ready for our Christmas celebration. And I am a teacher. I've been teaching for 22 years here in Canada. And I've been at 3 different schools, and I've taught from kindergarten and all the way up to grade 7 and 8. And I love doing mystery Skypes, and I thank you that we met, but I'm also happy to meet you now early in the morning because you're in school. And I think before you were at home and my students were at school.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning, ma'am. My name is Anna.
Hello.
I am an educator from educator school, Ayavaram. I would like to ask you a question. Can I ask, ma'am? What academic subjects do your students learn at school? How about non-academic subjects?
So we teach, thank you for your question. We teach language, so English and math, geography, science, history. Those are our academic subjects, and we teach those every day. And then we also have non-academic subjects, which we don't teach every day. We teach gym, so physical education, art, visual arts, dance, drama, and health as well. And we teach language for about an hour a day, math an hour a day, and then everything else we kind of sprinkle in between. We don't teach everything all at once. We teach everything, we try to mix it all together.
What kind of technology do you use in your classrooms? What is typical school days like in your country?
Thank you for your question. So we use HP tablets, so Chromebooks. Last year we had 5 computers per classroom. We're not 1-to-1. So 5 per classroom. And then we share a lab cart that has about 30 computers, but we only get that lab cart twice a week. So we are not able to do as much technology as we want because we don't have enough technology. However, this year we've been promised and we're waiting for 1-to-1 technology. So we have some people who want more technology and some people who don't want more technology. But since COVID happened, we've been using more technology. I love using technology because I realize without technology, we can't have these global classrooms. And I think the global classrooms are so important because I teach in a very small rural community. We only have maybe 400 students in my school. It's very small. And my students don't get a chance to meet other students who are the same as them or different than them. So I use mystery Skypes as an opportunity to introduce my students to different cultures, different nationalities, and yeah, so we're hoping to get more technology. We don't have enough.
Good morning, ma'am. This is Shravya, studying 9B section in GPHS Alvaram. Can I ask one question, please?
Of course. Good morning.
subject do you teach in our classrooms? How innovatively do you teach it?
So in the morning, I teach my own language. So the students come in, they usually have a writing task on the board. We have we play our national anthem, we have our announcements. And then my students are a very, very busy classroom, so I have to keep them busy. Right now, we're reading a book together from our global read aloud. I think many different countries in classrooms are reading a similar book. It's called And Then Boom. So I read it while the students listen to it, and then we have questions. Then we like to try to have some group work because they don't like to sit and work for very long. So we have what's called our whiteboards. So they will write together, they'll do some reading activities together, standing up on their whiteboard. So it's not a projector. We have one projector, obviously, but we also have mini whiteboards that they can write on, because right now in our province, we're following what's called building thinking classrooms. Peter Ligel is a teacher who's done some research, and he says that we need to do more group work to foster student thinking. And then we have math. Right now we're doing circle graphs, we're doing data management, we're learning how to read percents. And then at the end of the day, 2 days a week, we have gym. Do you have gym in do you have physical education as well?
Actually, here in this part of school system, and they have so many games, different games. They are involved, they are engaged in different games. So what kind of games does our physical physical science teacher teach?
Kabaddi, Kho-Kho, running race, volleyball, etc.
Okay, these are some of the games. Our physical education teacher is so busy and so hardworking, and he involves the students almost every game. He takes them to every tournament and wherever it is, and he simply.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello ma'am, this is Manshankar and I am educator from JPHS Sailavaram. I would like to ask a question, ma'am. Can I ask?
Okay, I'm so sorry, my dog is barking. Can you ask your question again?
I would like to ask a question, ma'am. Can I ask?
Yes.
How are teachers trained in your country? How often do they get professional development opportunities?
We have about 3,000 teachers in my school board. So we have a lot of teachers. We don't have enough teachers. I think the whole world right now has maybe a shortage of teachers because it's not an easy profession. And training last year, so during COVID, there was no training. We did not receive any training during COVID. We all had to learn on our own how to, do Teams meetings and how to Zoom and we use Brightspace, how to put everything onto our computers. And then just last year, we had a lot of training. So I had 7 days where I was out of the classroom. And now this year, there's not much training. You can go to training on your own after school. So after school tonight, I'm going to training for more technology. And yeah, it's if teachers want to be trained, they can find it. I went to a conference in the summer for mathematics for 3 days to learn more about teaching math. But usually it's up to the individual teacher how much training they want.
Hello, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
This is P. Jeremy, an educator from JPHS Sailavaram. I want to pay a question, ma'am. Can I? What kind of test do your students take? Is it mandatory for every student to score required marks?
Thank you. So we have standardized testing, which every student has to take in our province in grade 3, in grade 6, grade 9, and grade 10. It's math and language. We don't, we're not as big on standardized testing as in the States. The States has much more vigorous testing than we do. The testing used to be all handwritten, but now it's all on the computer. And it's become much easier because we want the test scores to be higher. So by May, the teachers need to have finished teaching all the curriculum in grades 3 and 6 so that their students can write the test. It takes about 3 days to write, 1 hour a day. We think the grade 3s are a little bit too young to write for 3 hours, but they try their best. And then we don't see the results of those tests until the year after because they get sent away. Teachers will score the tests. So not the own so when I taught grade 3, I did not score my own tests. I had to mail them away. And then so you write in June, and parents and teachers don't get the results until the next October.
Thank you.
We can see their typical uniform. Are you able to see their uniform?
Yeah, I can see.
Yes. So do your students have the typical uniform like these kids are wearing right now?
No, my students, we're in a public board, so my students do not wear uniforms. We wish our students would wear uniforms because there's a lot of problems with clothing, and students make fun of other students for their clothing. We're working on being a kinder community, so we think that uniforms would be better. In the Catholic board, they do wear uniforms.
Okay.
Have your students always worn uniforms
Yeah.
since little on? Yeah.
Yeah, from Monday to Saturday, because from Monday to Saturday we work. Only Sunday is the day off for us. So they wear the uniform all these days. Yeah. So
You have school on Saturday?
yeah, we work even on Saturday also, except the second Saturday. Yeah.
Still 9 to 5?
Yes.
Wow. I will have to tell my students that we are Monday to Friday. And
Yes.
in fact, in some regions, not a lot, but in some regions, they're going 4 days a week instead of 5.
Oh.
Yep.
So is it a public system, a public school system, or private system? And to decide that 4 days for a week.
It is private. Private, yeah. The public will never go 4 days.
And now I have a question. You have just told us that some of the teachers in your region are always like to upgrade their professional knowledge from time to time with the times. So
Yes.
take some extra classes also, and even outside the school hours. How much time do the teachers in your region spend on this upgradation of these professional skills?
I would say a couple hours a month. Yeah, depending on when the training is during school, it's all day. So it's 6 hours a day. But after school, the workshops are usually about 45 minutes to 60 minutes. We now have training. It's always either through Zoom or in person. We've kept the virtual because they realize not everybody can get to the meetings physically. So before COVID, we used to always just be in person, but now they're both.
So usually what type of, is it interactive mode or just lecturing method, or what kind of the method do they follow when it comes to the professional improvement program?
So right now for mathematics, it's a lot of student thinking. We use what's called mathology. So training on mathology, and for the primaries, a lot of it is on the study of words, because our students are very, very low in reading. So we are now explicitly teaching phonics, morphology, the sounds. We have 24 letters, or sorry, 26 letters and multiple sounds. So we're finding that the children aren't knowledgeable in what letters make what sounds. So we are very much trying to increase our reading scores.
And here is my last question. So you have been proactive in organizing the international sessions, connecting your students with the rest of the world. And you have been doing a lot of these projects for a long time. So as an experienced teacher in the field of international communications, do you think that, how do you see these connections? Today we are able to speak sitting in a rural part of India with a teacher from Canada, and it is possible thanks to the technology. How do you see these interactions? How beneficial they are for the students as well as the teachers?
I think it's so important. I started Skyping with my kindergartens, and I've Skyped every year. We, especially in our rural communities where our students do not see diversity, it is one way that we can teach diversity and appreciation and tolerance of other cultures. I think we should be doing it like minimum twice a week. My class is very challenging this year. I actually had to stop a mystery Skype on Monday. We were Skyping Washington in the States. They don't realize how lucky they are to have this opportunity.
Okay, thank you so much. And before we wind up this session, I request you to give a message to my students. Is it possible to take your laptop outside your home so that we can see how the morning looks like in Canada?
Of course, of course. I don't have a rear facing camera, so I'll have to turn my camera around.
Okay.
But yeah, no problem. I think it's still dark. We might have some Christmas lights. On my street, we celebrate Diwali. So Diwali lights start there. Stay there. Lights start coming on in early October. And then we have our Diwali lights, and then after Remembrance Day in November, then we start putting up our Christmas lights.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's quite dark, I think. What's the time now over there? 6:40?
6:20.
6:20. 6:20 is still dark here in Canada. Yes.
So here, I'll just give you.
Yes, it's still no activity on the
No
street.
activity, no.
Yes, no activity. Okay, thank you so much for your time, and may I request you to give a message to my students?
Absolutely. Students, it was wonderful to meet you. I'm so glad that even with the time difference, we are still able to talk. You look like a very respectful class. You've obviously been well taught, and I want to thank you for sharing your questions and for listening and for making my morning so wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes. 3, 2, 1, start.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जाके तव शुभ आशीष माके गाहे तव जय गाथ जन गण जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Well done. Thank you.